Hello, my soul family. How are you all? And I hope you are doing great, wonderful, amazing, safe wherever you are in the world. I welcome you all in my channel. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel, for giving me lots of love. And I hope I help you out in some manner. If you have not subscribed yet to the channel, then please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And you can also let me know in the comment section if you want to tell me anything, if you want to ask me anything. So let's start today's video, and in this video we are going to discuss from 903 to 916, okay, 1916 events, which has been what are the events which has been started from 903 to 916, what were the wormholes, APN systems and LPN systems which were activated, which was created, which was hijacked, okay. And in the previous two parts we get to know that what is the meaning of LPIN systems and what is the meaning of APIN systems. So these are Lemurian, LPIN is Lemurian Pylon Implant Network systems, and APIN system means that Atlantic Pylon Implant Networks. These are basically the global microchip grids embedded in the planetary system, okay, in the Earth's template. These microchips are embedded. So there are some LPN systems which has been created and designed by the guardian race lines, okay, and there are some APN systems which has been created by the fallen angelic race lines for the negative manipulation. So in the first two parts we get to know from the timeline from the 5.5 million years ago to 9560 BC to 9558 BC. For those who have not watched these parts, you can just go and watch these parts first, and I'm going to add a link in the description box for these parts too. Okay, so in this part we are going to start from the events, from the timeline of 903, okay, and these are the events which we have seen or understand or learn in our school histories, on our Google or on Wikipedia. We have seen these stories from our ancestors in the family lines. We have seen a lot of movies also. So these are the stories basically which we have listened, okay. These are the timelines which we know, because these are the years which are being very much, I can say, like, we are very familiar to these events. So for example, World War One or World War II, or the Japan Nagasaki, which was happened, the bomb incident which was being dropped in Nagasaki, Japan, or the the twin trade tower blast, which was happened in 2001. We know these things. We also know the Adolf Hitler, who was the Hitler. We know the Nazi movement which was made. We know a lot of things in these, in this video we're going to know a lot of events which we are actually familiar and have studied in our school timelines, and we have watched them on the TVs, on the Google, on the network, okay, internet, everywhere. But the real truth, what is actually happened behind the scenes, which has been hidden, they have created illusion behind, for all of us. We're going to know the meaning of these events. So let's start today's video. So what has happened in 903? Before 903, from Atlantis, from the fall of Atlantis to 903, the Anunnakis race lines, they were dominating all over the world, and they were actually having a strong hold on Illuminati covered one world order operations, okay. They were historically positioned and they were very strong, okay. They were having very strong hold on the earth, on the world. But in 903, okay, on 903, on 1916, the Zeta Reticuli race of phantom earth, they opened the Atlantic Falcon wormhole, okay. So Atlantic Falcon wormholes, they open it, and the Atlantic Falcon wormhole is situated off the coast off the coast of Charleston, South Carolina, in the Atlantic Ocean, which was Nohasa Atlantis before. This area was, exist before also during the time of Atlantis, and this area was used to known as Nohasa Atlantis. So Zeta Reticuli Grace, which we call as Grace, they began forming for the invasion. Here, the violent Zeta Regalian forces of Phantom Orion star system, which were the Alni-Tech Orion star system, they took over the Falcon wormhole and they began convert infiltration of Earth governments on the behalf of Zeta Dracolian agendas. So basically, these Zeta Regalians, they are with the Dracolian race line, so they begin the infiltration of Earth with under the Zeta Dracolian agenda. They overthrow historically positioned Anunnaki stronghold on Illuminati One World operation. So from this timeline of 903, the fallen angelic race lines, they begin warring and competing among themselves to activation and domination of APIN systems in the preparation of the stellar activation cycle, which is going to happen in 2012 to 2017. Okay, I hope you all know now the meaning of SAC, which is stellar activation cycle, which is the stargate opening cycle when all the stargates open. Okay, so as I told you that they took over in 903. So Zeta managed to break through the wall in time and they started to invade here. In 1930, the next timeline is 1930. What is happened in 1930 is that the Zeta, they convinced the Illuminati, hybrid race lines, hybrid human race lines, I can say, those who were present in governments, okay, they convinced them that the Anunnaki race lines were trying to invade here. They are going to invade here, and when the Illuminati hybrid race lines, which were the human race lines, which were present in the government authorities, they get to know that that the Anunnaki is going to invade here. They got the fear, and they at the time they made deals with the Zetas. So in 1930, the Zeta Regalians, they made treaties, they made agreements with Illuminati hybrid human race lines in several major governments like NSA, which is called as National Security Agency, and these treaties were known as Zeta treaties. Okay, and also Majestic 12, which we called as MJ12 seat group covered Illuminati World One World Order World Management Team under Zeta Dracolian agenda. So basically, the MJ12 Majestic 12, which later becomes CIA in America. So this is the one which is the United Nations and World Economic Forum, which usually meets in Davos, which is the World Economic Forum, which was formed under the Zeta Dracolian agenda. Here the Zeta Regalians, which is Rotila EBENS, they began activating the Falcon APN system, and they made treaties with the government in exchange of weapon technology. So once the Zeta convinced the Illuminati hybrid human race lines that the Anunnaki race lines, they are going to do an invasion on planet Earth, okay, and you all are going to wipe out in that invasion, the Illuminati hybrid human race lines, they got feared, they got scared because of this invasion, and because of this, they signed up the treaties with Zetas in exchange of weapon technology that give us a nuclear weapon technology, give us the technology like atomic bomb technology, so that we can destroy the Anunnaki race lines. Okay, so because of that, the race lines, the Illuminati human hybrid race lines which were present in governments, they sign up the treaties in exchange of weapon technology. And in that treaties was signed that Zetas can enter here on the planet Earth by using the Falcon wormhole. Okay, they can use that Falcon wormhole, they can enter into the Earth, and they can do the adduction process, the hybridization process, they can use the ethnic virus, they can use the sonic pulses to create the unnatural, disaster, unnatural disasters, so with the intention of reducing the human population. Okay, so one thing I'm going to add here, that the primary intention or motive or agenda for all the fallen angelic race lines, they are having to reduce the human population as much as they can. And the main reason for doing that is that if the human population race line, if the angelic race line population will be more, then the earth template is under the control of angelic human race lines. They cannot control the angelic human race lines, because once we got the awakened, we are having a higher DNA strand capability, a blueprint than the fallen angelic race lines. As an angelic human race lines, we are having minimum 12 strand DNA template. Okay, and the Anunnaki race lines, they are having reverse 11 strand DNA template. The Dracolian ones, they are having reverse 10 strand DNA templates. Even the Necromantan ones, they are having reversed 11 strand DNA templates. And the Zetas, they are the cloned species. Okay, they are not even having any kind of soul template. So they all know the ability of angelic human race lines, and because of that, their main primary motive, intention or agenda is to reduce a human population. And because of this, agenda, they have created a lot of things, and I'm going to give you an example so that you can understand that why they have created these things. So first of all, they created the unnatural disaster, okay, in which there are floods, there are earthquakes, which are actually being created by by the sonic pulses, okay, so that they can reduce the human population. Second thing is that the birth control system, that we have to give birth to only two childs. And now more and more operations are going on for the delivery, so that because if you birth a child from operation, you cannot do operation more than two or three. And before, when the normal delivery was happening, you can give birth lot of childs, okay, approximate 8, 10, 12, how much you are having a capability, you can give birth to a natural process, to a natural delivery. So they create a seed in our subconscious mind that we are getting overpopulated, the population is getting too much high, and because of that, we must have only two kids, we two, and we will have two children, okay, the husband, wife, and only the two kids. That's the only population they want, and that's why they started implementing lot of birth control programs, okay. And then they started another step from last I think 8 years. The step is IVF programs, which is another step to take the DNA and hybridization program on a next level. Okay, if you are unable to give a birth to a baby, you will go to a doctor. Doctor will ask you to, okay, fine, you will create you will give you will get a baby, pregnancy and all, by artificially inseminating the sperm of your husband inside of you. And in that process, this process is called IVF, in which the sperm will be collected of your husband, and it will be collected and deposited and safeguard in the laboratory, in the doctor clinic for some time. And when your ovulation time period will come, when the egg will released and your conception time will come, that at that point of time you will be called by the doctor, and that sperm will be released inside of you, okay, through the injections, and that sperm will release inside you directly, and you will get pregnant. Now the question is, the sperm which has been releasing inside of you is actually, in truth, is your husband the sperm, or the Anunnaki, Dracolian, or Necromantan sperm? They are actually creating their hybrid race lines through this IVF process. You do not know the sperm which has been released inside of you is actually your own husband's sperm or the fallen angelic race line sperm. Second thing they are doing is that once the angelic human sperm is being collected in the laboratory, they are taking that sperm and they are injecting that sperm into their female. Okay, the fallen race lines, they are also having females. They are injecting the human angelic sperm inside their females, and because of that they're creating their hybrid race lines. Third point they are starting is the test tube babies. Okay, then surrogate mother function. So these all are the things through which they are actually manipulating us, that we are unaware that actually they are creating the hybrid race lines through our own self, without even concerning, without, we do not even know that actually what is the truth. This is actually happening, and through these processes they are actually creating their own hybrid race lines, whether it is Anunnaki race lines, whether these are Dracolian race lines, whether these are Necromantic race lines. So I will suggest you all to stop doing that. Okay, try to conceive as natural as you can do that. Okay, so in 1930 when the Zeta Regalians, they made treaties, they made agreements, okay, in governments, and when they do that they start beginning the ethnic viruses. So they begin the ethnic virus, they start sending the sonic pulses which create the unnatural disaster programs. They were testing, and they started doing these testings, and they did these testings with the intention of reduction of human population. Okay, and adduction and hybridization programs started throughout 1950s and 1960s. Okay, now the Falcon API grid system, they started, the Zeta began to activate their old Falcon API system, that was one that was connected to the Falcon matrix, and Falcon spread its wings across the planet. It's little microchip like implant grids that run through the planet, and what these grids do, they allow for communication, the frequency transmission and broadcasting. So they can fire, which means that they will pop and create little black holes among the whole grid that would connect phantom matrix. Also they began and assist fully organized basically the Hitler Nazi movement. So at that point of time the Falcon API grid also uses the holographic insert technologies, which can change the environmental perception of the 3D avatar or any other virtually stimulated physical human within the parameters of this technology. One thing I want to clear you all and make sure that right now also they want to clear out the major, they want to reduce the population of the human population, either by any kind of virus or either by any kind of disease or disasters or any kind of thing. They want to reduce the human population. That's the major agenda, a main point. Okay, so we all have to remember one thing, this, or through the World War III they want to create it so that we will get into the fear energy or the low frequencies, and they will be able to reduce the population, but they will not be able to succeed in that. Okay, now in 1940s that has assisted to organize and strengthen the Hitler Nazi movement. Okay, and what was happened in Nazi Germany World War number 2, that point of time, first the Hitler, which is Adolf Hitler, he was actually an Illuminati, which was Dracolian Illuminati. Okay, he was Dracolian Illuminati. So first Hitler made deals with Zeta Dracolian agenda. They were having the Zeta Dracolian agenda, which are called as, these deals called as Zeta Dracolian deals. So Adolf Hitler was instructed to reduce number of only certain Jewish family lines. Those Jewish family lines which are associated with true Hebrew angelic human race lines, which are indigo Magi gray line lineage or the star seeds, which we called as. Okay, secondly he was instructed to reduce Hibiru Anunnaki Illuminati hybrid race lines, okay, which were actually the Hyksos people, who were false Hebrew people, which were one of the hybrid lines from the Anunnaki side. Okay, so Hitler was also instructed, warned basically, to leave untouched families of the Dracolian Hybiru Illuminati lineage, which were descended from the ancient Atlantean Hassa King family lines, which were having the gene code of Dracolian race lines. Okay, so this was the first deal in which the Hitler made a deal with Zeta Dracolian deals, and after making Hitler deals with Zeta Regalian first, the Zeta Regalians, the Zeta Dracolians, basically they were assisting in developing the Nazi movement of World War II, supporting and nurturing Hitler and his inner circle Dracolian Illuminati crew. So basically the Hitler agreed to reduce population of several primary angelic human pure strain ethnic groups under Zeta Dracolian agenda, also exterminate specific Hybiru Anunnaki Illuminati hybrid race lines while protecting Hybiru Illuminati hybrid lines of the Dracolian race lines. Okay, but after in 1940, what has happened that Hitler made the double deals with Necromantan Andromes. So what has happened is that Necromantan Andromes, they went to Hitler and they made the covert physical contact with Hitler and provide him, a small gifts of metaphysical Templar knowledge, okay, and instructed to kill the Hybiru Dracolian Illuminati forces. Okay, so Necromantan Andromes, they asked him to do that, and the Hitler, he made double deals, and he start killing the Hybiru Dracolian Illuminati race lines. So he started doing that. So Hitler started doing that. Hitler made a double deals and killed groups of Dracolian Hybiru Illuminati race lines. So when this happened, the Zeta Dracolian, they with agenda, they race lines, they withdraw all the supports from the Nazi campaign and assist the Allied Illuminati controllers in orchestrating the defeat of Nazi Germany. At that point of time, okay, that was when allied government in victory, the government actually got the victory over Nazi regime, and formalization of the MJ12 world management team brick brother drag group was formed. Okay, so at that point of time it happened. So at what that point of time, the officially they formalized the MJ12, which was World Management Team, also known as Big Brother Drag Secret Government Group, which is the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, which will perform MK Ultra, which is a mind control experiments on human patients. Okay. Now in 1940, what has happened after this event is that the Necromantan Andromy race lines, they attempt to mobilize the Illuminati race lines in Hawaii, in Nagasaki, Japan, to build underground military bases and to override the Zeta Falcon APIN port interface system at its Nagasaki APIN site. Because what was happening is that the Zeta Dracolian race lines, they were having more and more control on the planet Earth, okay, on every area of the world. So Necromantan Andromy race lines, they started they were trying to overthrow basically the control or the race lines of the Zetas and Dracolians. So in 1940, after the Hitler movement, okay, the Necromantan Andromy race lines, they attempt to mobilize their Illuminati race lines, so that which were present in Hawaii, which were present in Nagasaki, Japan, so that they can build underground military bases and they can override the Zeta Falcon APIN port interface system, which was there in Nagasaki APIN site. Actually, what was happened is that Zetas were having a Nagasaki Falcon APIN system already, and Zeta Regalians, they instructed the Illuminati hybrids. They get to know that Necromant and Andromedes want to take over the control of the underground military bases, and they want to take over the Falcon APN system, interface system, port system, which has been present in Japan. So what Zeta did is the Zeta Regalians instructed the Illuminati hybrids in Japan, okay, via Majestic MJ-12, which is Majestic 12, to launch the Pearl Harbor strike, in which the Japan attacked the US Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor, and then the US declared the war on Japan. Here, the Illuminati hybrids in USA, the Zeta Regalians instructed the Illuminati hybrids in USA, and these Illuminati hybrids, they knew this plan of Zetas from the starting. Zetas provided the atomic bomb technology to use on Nagasaki and to regain back their Nagasaki APINS site under the Zeta Regalian control. So we can say that on the behalf of the Zeta Dracolian race lines, the Necromant and Andromeda Illuminati residing on Hiroshima, Japan, they were wiped out on the behalf of Zetas, and innocent lives were lost, including the Magi Gray line, okay, which were the human U race lines, which were the indigo race lines, which were there in Hiroshima, okay, Japan. These two race lines, they both were wiped out, okay, on the behalf of Zetas. And after this incident, after this dropping bomb on Hiroshima, the Nagasaki Falcon APIN was finally reclaimed back by the Zetas. The Necromant and Andromedes, they were having the base stations, underground base stations. These were eliminated there. Okay, so Necromant and Andromedes base stations were eliminated, and the Falcon APIN continued to activated by the Zeta Regalians. Now in 1943, the Zetas were having now more control. Okay, they were having a very huge, I can say, control. Okay, now stronghold or control on the world. So Zeta Regalians, they expand their Falcon API system via the August 12, 1943 Philadelphia experiment. The Philadelphia experiment was actually very famous in experiment, and you can read it out. You can watch a lot of movies. There are a lot of movies which has been created on this topic, 1943 Philadelphia experiment. You can read it on Wikipedia. You can read it about the Philadelphia experiment on Google. So there is a lot of information which has been available on this experiment. But actually what was happening, that the Zetas, they were actually trying to put their they were trying to put their Falcon API system, okay, and they were trying to connect basically the Falcon API and Falcon wormhole into a new wormhole, so that they can enter into the phantom earth, a new way, a new wormhole through which they can connect the earth into the phantom earth, okay, or I can say a new way through which they can, a new wormhole through which they can enter into the earth through the phantom earth. So in 1943, the Zeta Regalians expand Falcon APN system via 12th August 1943 Philadelphia experiment, putting East Coast US Falcon APN system online with Falcon wormhole. And they create the 5X wormhole port interface network, which actually get connected into the phantom earth. Okay, so this experiment, the ship was teleported into the another dimension. What was being told by to the governments when this whole experiment was created? The government has been told by the Zetas that we are going to give you a technology in which you will, when the world war will happen, you will be able to, make the ship invisible, and you can easily win the I can say the war, we are going to give you a technology and we are helping you, and this is a cloaking technology, and through which the ship will be invisible and your enemy cannot see your ship. So this was the story which was being told to the government by the zetas, but in reality what they were trying to do, what they were doing is that they were opening one more I can say wormhole, one more way through which they can connect the earth into the phantom earth. So what they did is, when they used the ship, in that ship the ship was teleport into another dimension or into another timeline, a time continuum, into the future, into another dimension, or into the phantom earth for few seconds or for few time period, and again the ship came back in the third dimension. So there's a lot of things which has been present, okay, on the Google, you can read it down. But in this 1943 event, they have created one more wormhole. The name of this wormhole is 5x. Phi means Philadelphia, X means experiment. So Philadelphia experiment wormhole. Okay, 5x wormhole port interface network, which will actually connect you into the phantom earth. Now in 1951, there is White Eagle Dove Alliance, or we can say also known as Archangel Michael join Enoch, which is actually the Necromantic Andromes. They made deals with Jehovah Anunnaki, which is the Enoch. The Enoch is dolphin people, okay? The bipedal dolphin peoples. The Jehovah Anunnakis, these are actually the Enoch. Okay, they combine and activate the APIN systems. That is, the Necromantic Andromes, they are having the White Eagle APIN system, which is Archangel Michael, and they combine the Jehovah Anunnaki APIN system, which is the Dove APIN system, to regain Anunnaki one world order dominion over Draconian Illuminati force and Earth's Templar. Because what has happened till 1943 is that now the zetas and Dracolian race lines, zeta Dracolian race lines, they were having a stronghold on the earth, on the earth's planetary templar, in the one world order agenda. So in 1951, the Necromantic Andromes think that we are not going to succeed if we are not going to get combined with Anunnaki race lines. So they went to the Jehovah Anunnaki race lines, and these two groups, they created the White Eagle Dove Alliance, and this is where we have the eagle flying with the dove. Okay, so they wanted to open the Phoenix wormhole, which is off the eastern coast of Florida and at the excitonal line 7 and the ley line 4, but they were unsuccessful until the 1972. The Phoenix wormhole was actually was positioned below the Falcon wormhole on the same vertical line. Okay, we can say the Falcon wormhole is off the coast of South Carolina, and the Phoenix wormhole is off the coast of Florida. It's the same vertical line. So if they would open this, they would be able to start activating the Dove grid, the White Eagle grid. Okay, but they were unsuccessful until 1972. So I am going to stop here the video, and in the next part we are going to start from the 1972 timeline, what has happened from that or from there. But in this video we get to know that how the Necromantic Andromes, they make the deals with the Jehovah Anunnaki, which is the Dove matrix. They combine their Dove and White Eagle APIN systems together, and they start to activate their grids. They start to open their Phoenix wormhole. Okay, and they were unsuccessful. We also get to know that how the 12th August 1943 Philadelphia experiment, the Zeta created actually a new wormhole, which is called as 5x wormhole, port interface network, which actually connected into the phantom earth. Okay, we also get to know that actually what was happened in Nagasaki, Japan, in which the bomb was actually dropped on them, why they dropped on them. And we also get to know in like why the government has signed the treaties with Zetas, okay, and how they opened the Atlantic Falcon wormhole. They managed to break through the wall in time and they started invading here. Zetas are having a very good knowledge of time traveling. Okay, they are coming from a different time continuum, but in a three-dimensional system only. They also live in density universe one only, but in a different time continuum. So actually, they are coming from the future to the past. Okay, but it's all happening at the same time because the time is linear. So we also get to know that how in 1930 they made the world management team, okay, the United Nations and World Economic Forums, the MJ12, which later become a CIA, okay, and the CIA is Central Intelligence Agency, okay, which will perform the MK Ultra mind control experiments on human patients. So I'm going to stop here, sending you lots of love, healing, and happy energies to all my soul family who are watching my video. Take care of yourself and see you soon.